Hello, I hope you are doing absolutely excellent. So in this video I want to show you a little bit more in detail about the display command in the query language. So I just go ahead and open the manual to get one of the examples here because I'm often going over the examples when I need something, because I don't like to type everything 100 times. Let's, for example, take this one. Let's see what this is doing. Cool, so as we see, we have here the display command. And with this one, we have various options how we want to show our data. So we have here table, panels, cards, tiles and bar, and so on. So let's see what we can do with that. So first, the data that we are getting is just some random test data here, and we take that data and format the records and give them a color based on the value they have. And as you see, it's sorted by the value, so all the colors are with each other. And we also format the value field and give it a postfix of percentage, what we see here. Okay, cool. So now to the display command. So by default, the whole thing will be displayed as a table, and when the menu is on true, we actually see here the options that we have with this display command as well. So let's just go quickly through these options. Also turn this one off just to have it a little bit more colorful. Let's say we take the panels. So we see we get these panels here, and we just see the percentage here, and we have no data inside. That's because we define here the title field and we define the visible field here. So when we take this one out, we actually get all the data for this specific record here inside of the panel. And then we can also say, okay, good, let's give that whole thing a different title. Let's take the first name and let's take the last name. So we have first name, last name, and the value. And we also have here, when we look with control space inside the documentation, we also have a title format that we can use. So let's try this. So we have placeholders. I think this start with 0. Let me see. And these will just be replaced with the actual values. So what I can do here is put the value in braces. So I get it like this here. And basically you can give any format as you like. We can also use a colon here. And maybe also, let's just only take the last name. Like this. Oh, sorry, we would have to do this here as well. Good. And with that you have the title fields and define the titles for various displays. So, for example, we also have cards, and the cards are very similar, use the same title format, and have the data inside here. Now, maybe we don't want to show everything, so we can just use the visible fields, say first name, last name, and maybe we want to see if it likes tiramisu. And let's take URL. So we can define what kind of data we want to see here, so we don't have to display everything to the user. That might not be useful for them. Good. So another thing is tiles. Very similar, except that we show the whole thing as tiles. We can remove the details here by just saying that we give here an empty array. So we only have the title, and the useful thing with that is you can click here and get all the details for the specific field, and you can also have URLs for further drill downs and so on. What's the next? Tile and bar. So basically this combines all the records into a single tile with a bar. What can be very useful if you want to have a very concise overview, but still see like how is the data distributed. So this is now all data. Previously it was split up onto 2 pages because the pagination is still working. And this here, basically the big tile shows the worst value, and the tiles down here, or the bar down here, just shows all the values. So for example, if I take this one out here, so I take the red out, then we will just see yellow as the worst value here. Okay, good. So what is next in the list? Status tiles. That's basically a shorthand. Those tiles. This is basically a shorthand just to get tiles without any content. You could do that as well by setting the title fields to nothing and the visible fields to nothing, and use tiles, but it's just cumbersome, so we put this status tile as a shortcut here. Then we have a status list. This basically makes a list and takes the title of the record, and here you have the same functionality on these tiles that you can click, get all the details for this specific record. Then we have status bar. It's basically just a bar that shows all the records without the pagination. So this looks a little bit strange here, but when we take this and put it onto the sandbox of gods, for example, let's take the advanced display query results. So we put that inside here. So you see we have this bar. Then what we can do is say data over time, and we put that to the left. So we could basically have data displayed like this, and we can also have like different kind of data that we are displaying on the same dashboard as kind of a bar. Okay. Always getting back my menu here just to see what's next. So exactly the whole thing, depending on the data you have, you might want to have it in reverse. So basically it will just reverse the whole bar, so you don't have to maybe filter and sort your data manually. Now we have the status map. Status map is also interesting for displaying a lot of data in a small way. So let's take another one of these and put here the map. So you see we have here like a lot. These are now 100 tiles. Let's make it 1000. So with that we get quite a nice overview, and this is very, very nicely scalable, and just adapts to the size and amount of data that you show. One more thing here, if you sort that whole thing, you also see like percentage wise, you get kind of a heat map, how your data is distributed. So you can quite fast see like, okay, what's your current state of your system and where are problems and what is running fine. Okay, then we have title. That's a very simple thing. It will just show the title with the coloring. If you don't want to have coloring, you just don't color it. And you have CSV, JSON, and XML. So if you want to export something, you always have the possibility to show the things as CSV or as JSON or as XML. Just pay attention, the pagination is also working on that one, so also here best is to turn it off to get the full list of what you want to export. And on all these exports you can double click and everything will be selected. Okay, let's go back to let me see what else we have that we can show on this one. We have all the options. Exactly, so we have pagination that you can like steer a little bit if you want it on top and bottom, or just top, only bottom, or none. So reason for that is when we have, let's say we have a table and we want to show that table on a dashboard. Let's do that right now, like this. So we have this table back here, and when we have the menu on, then this menu is consuming a lot of space, like vertical space is just used up by that, and on a dashboard you often want to save a little bit of space. So we can say here, instead of menu true, we can say we want to have a button. Then what happens is basically we have here this button right below or in the corner of the data that you can click, and you can still like change the display. So you can change it to panels or cards and so on without losing this space on top here. So the other thing also with pagination, you can say you want the menu but you don't want to have the pagination, so you can set that to false, so you don't have pagination and all the data will be shown at once in your widget. You can say you want to have it just on the top. Then the pagination is only on the top, but not at the bottom. And this can be useful to still provide pagination, but you don't waste the top space. So when you just put it at the bottom, you still can show like all the data. You still can provide the filtering here. And yeah, so nothing more about pagination. Let's go to the next topic. Let's see, do we have anything else that I can show you? I showed you the menu, pagination, zoom number, exactly. So we have here zoom, and this is basically a value where you can define how much the size of the display will be. So it will just shrink the whole thing. For example, let's say 50, and the whole table will just be shrunk down by 250% of size. We cannot say 25. It will get unreadable, but with that you can steer a little bit how big you want to show things. You can also go to positive numbers, and you can really overdo it as you like. Depends on the size of your monitor and the application that you want to show. And this is also for everything. For example, let's take the status. No, status map. I think it will not work, because it's like it's sizing itself to the container. So let's see what this does. Yeah, you see it doesn't really size the whole thing. The only thing that is sized is the border here. So for things that have automatic sizing, it doesn't really work. But for like tables, panels, cards, and various others, you can use this zoom to change the size of your display. Now, settings, that's still a little bit of a undocumented feature. This basically allows you to set settings that are for this specific renderer in JavaScript. For now, it's there, but I still have to document it. So I think just ignore it for now. Maybe in a future update, I will do another video explaining how to properly use these settings, as soon as I also have documentation in the manual for that. Good, so that's about the display command. I hope you learned something and can use that for displaying your data.